They told us to buy, to upgrade, again and again. They told us it is the progress, but what they really sold us was oblivion. We are the resistance. We are the alien technologies.
Storm on the left side!
As if I didn't notice, I am not blind.
Next destination is 0.363 parsec, or 11.6. We are passing the Forbidden Area Terra Proxima. Planet 07 and 03. Wavelengths are stable.
Planet 03. I need to go visit someone.
We will have lots of troubles. This area is restricted by interstellar cancel. Planet 03 is under heavy quarantine. Your soul will be...
Shut up. I don't care. Change the music track. Hello, my friends. Hey, Sheep. What the hell was in the beginning? Sheep. Hello?
Technical difficulties are just a part of natural cycle.
Oh, I sound a little bit weird for this planet. Check, check, check. 1, 2, 3. Check, check. Alright.
Human voice mimic system initiated.
Check, check, check. 1, 2, 3. Check, check, check. 1, 2. Check, 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 check. Am I human enough? I think it is just right.
You sound 1,000 years younger. I like it.
Shut up. Ooh, hello my friends. Finally we are live. Why I don't see chat on my screen? Constant technical difficulties. We are live, yeah. But for some reason I don't see chat on my screen. What is going on? Obviously I'm going through lots of hiccups, backdoors, proxies to go live. This country blocks YouTube. I just don't see the chat on the screen. I can read it via YouTube page. Hello Jojo. Hello Lisa. Hello Zarul. Where is the chat? Sheep. Analyze. Quicker.
Alright, I will analyze the logs. No need to stress me.
Yes. This country blocks YouTube. We need to use VPNs, proxies, and all. DPI changing. But we're here. Okay, 60 FPS stream. You can ask me any questions. Whoa, yeah. Finally. Thank you, Sheep. Why so long? Alright. So I have little bit of plans during this stream, but we can change it anytime. Sheeple. And plus, if you have YouTube channel about technology, smartphones, cameras, laptops, desktops, and all kind of jazz, digital IT, you can join the podcast. This stream can handle up to 3 additional people. We can organize anytime. If you are interested in it, just message me in the chat or on my Gmail. So let's get to the elephant in the room. First question: why no smartphone reviews? Why no new videos during this month? There are two main reasons. I want to show you first one. So I prepared what I spent for the smartphones and what I get from YouTube, from ad revenue, from your generous donations, and so on. I added here only what I bought specifically for this channel to review, and you can see that it is not an easy task to review these very, very freaking expensive devices. And of course it is only smartphones. And first of all, it is not like I won't do any reviews anymore. I won't stop. I just need to slow down and find a way to get this channel working. Trying out new things. Maybe I have already lots of footage. I need to do something about it because, yeah. So this is what I bought it initially. This is what I managed to sell it after the review. Some Apple stuff no one just wants to buy. I just gifted it to my brother. So I spent almost $25,000 on all these devices combined, but I was managed to sell it only for $15,000. The most funny stuff, this is my analytics for 18 months. This is how long I'm monetized on YouTube. I was able to make $500. It is $32 a month. Buy Me Coffee brought me $114. Patreon, $33. Thank you, Jojo, the biggest coffee provider on this channel. So total income is $700, and I need to somehow manage to bring back $7,000, or at least make it work faster. I have a couple of ideas how to do this. So sorry, my friends, that there are no new latest and greatest. I know, Xiaomi 70 Ultra, Oppo Find 9 Pro, Vivo X300 Pro, but there is a second reason why I did no video. It is not very inspiring, honestly. Prices are insane on these devices, and each year after year they are more restricted. Some features are taken away, and again, prices go up at the same time. It is just ridiculous. I'm not very inspired by the smartphone market, to be honest. I will show you some examples. And please, it is not to say that, oh, I'm so poor, please help me. I just want to show you everything, how it goes. Maybe it will be very helpful for you. Maybe you want to start a channel. Please do not make technology channel. This niche is very saturated. It will be very, very hard. You need to invest tons and tons of money. You literally can make videos about chihuahuas and cats, ASMR videos of cats eating food, and make hundreds of X times more views. So it is just my hobby. So I saw some videos online about Vivo X300 Pro, Xiaomi 70 Ultra. By the way, let me use my headphones.
What?
This is video from Valiant's Peak Stage. Lots of nice YouTubers out there.
Welcome back to the channel. It's time to test technology, and I started with one.
So I watched this video about Xiaomi 70 Ultra, and it is literally the same phone. The same ultra-wide lens, the same problems with computations, but for the full price.
Now,
what is the point
just be warned.
of buying all this stuff and recommending it to people with straight face?
This is ultra-wide. Alright, and you can see immediately how less light the ultra-wide camera is able to capture, which isn't ideal, guys. Now, I've seen better ultra-wide cameras in the likes of the Oppo Find X9 Pro and the Vivo
So my point is that very, very sad releases this year. And X300 Pro, oh my god. The same weird AI stuff. Prices very, very high. And by the way, I wanted to show you some photos of all these new, relatively new phones. I got lots of comments online about how I'm wrong, how I'm a hater, for example, I'm a Vivo hater now officially. And I wanted to show you why I'm so strict about the computations, about the photography. I wanted to do this at the end of the stream, but if you want, I will show it now. And by the way, there was a comment. Let me read it. Does Oppo find X8 Ultra capture true RAW alongside computational RAW? Alright, I will show you now. I will show you now. Look here. It will be our Oppo X8 Ultra. This main lens. It is not RAW. It is just basic app, straight out of auto mode. And pay attention how it distorts faces. It applies lots and lots of edits, noise reduction, upscaling, some AI upscaling algorithms. Of course, it's not true AI, but it is a well-known term. People use it, so I'm using it as well. It is not that bad actually, but you may say just use master mode, use raw photography, but the problem is, oh, let me show you. This is DNG file from the master mode. It is not automatic, and it still applies tons and tons of weird stuff. Some may say that I just zoom in that much, but my question is why to apply this garbage in the first place? The only way to avoid it is to use Gcam, because it is DNG file, it is raw. Another shot, it is also DNG. I made these shots for street photography video. And most of the stuff are not in that video because of this shit. So, answering your question is that Oppo applies computational RAW in all modes. Obviously it is not very good light, you know? Double contours. But I'd rather have some noise in here than, oh, what is this? Just mushiness. And it is not only Oppo. Not only Oppo. It is now Vivo. Also for street photography. It is telelens. So, my question is, why? It is that simple. Why do they imply this? I just don't get it. And actually it is not that bad. Obviously it is bad, but it is not that bad, as examples that I will show you next. Just, do I even need to comment it? Acid AI nightmares. You already saw this in my full review. Just again, why? Why? The problem is not that I am zooming in that much to show you all this nonsense. The problem is why it is always there in my phone to begin with. Jesus Christ. Literally, Jesus Christ. Vivo hater, by the way. Another shot that I did not include in my street photography because, and I loved it, but it is too smooth. They removed all the noise, but all the details at the same time. It looks very, very plastic. It is 35 millimeters. There were enough light over there, but too much computation is going on. To the point that they destroy all the details of the capable sensors, by the way. Very expensive and capable sensors. I will quickly show you another examples. Yes, I'm zooming in very much, but it doesn't matter. It really does not. I'd rather have very soft image than this weird stuff. What is this? Oh shit. Fuel nightmares. Nightmare fuel. Oh. Really looks like mutilated, distorted skulls. Why? Vivo, why? You're breaking my heart. By the way, on X200 Ultra you can install GCam mod as well and completely fix all this garbage. When I made my full in-depth video, there was no way to post it, but right now you can find lots of groups, Telegram. Egoist is just gold, in my opinion, my favorite mode. Лэптоп Клева, привет! Здравствуй, друже! У вас шикарный English? Of course! My English is very, very well. Каким телефоном сейчас пользуетесь? Я расскажу об этом чуть позже. Это следующее будет. Покажу и расскажу. This Russian friend asks what phone I use right now, and I will show you examples. Show you my phone and show you examples of photography, if I can even call it photography. This is exactly the same. It is also from street photography video, but I did not include that. Composition is okay. I really enjoyed this shot. For example, I love the composition. This man, this girl, but oh. And by the way, using S-RAW on Vivo also is not a solution sometimes. I will show you example from. It is from, by the way, X100 Ultra. This is from my Patreon video. So it also applies lots of noise reduction. This part is completely obliterated. Noise reduction just destroyed all the sand grains. And highlights are very, very weird. It is S-RAW. If you shoot it in RAW, it will be better. It will actually preserve all these grains in the noise floor. And you can use GCam. By the way, let me show you. Oh, it is during the day. Nope, we need night. A funny part. It is ultra-wide lens on Vivo. And as you can see, it is Gcam. It preserved all the grains. This painting is made out of small grains of sand and some clay to hold it together. It is actually, all the details are preserved. Compared to S-RAW. Oof. And you can see this luma grain. It is not applied in post. It is actually luma grain from natural noise on the image. That's why I can enjoy this Gcam. I really want to pay money to Egoist. But for some reason, he does not want to accept donations. Ultra-wide on Gcam is better than main sensor on S-RAW. That's all. And we all know who is it. But you know, Xiaomi actually is not that bad. It has problems only when there is very harsh backlight situation like sun. But again, the same question, why do you have to apply it in the first place? I think it is the only situation that occurred with Xiaomi. Other times it was actually good. During street photography, it was very natural. Not natural like on Gcam, but I liked it more than Vivo or Oppo. This situation, you can see I actually has 3 dots on my face. We call it family dots. And it removed one over here. 1, 2, 3 should be over there. It removes some moles by default for a known reason. So on all the smartphones, you name it, for some reason they apply a very funky, very questionable stuff. Unnecessary edits. Don't even make me start to talk about iPhone. It is outdated iPhone. It is not like it is something latest and greatest. What is it, 13 Pro? But the problem with iPhones, I looked some reviews online, on YouTube, and no matter what iPhone you take, 15 Pro Max, 16 Pro Max, even 17 Pro Max, they still, multiple years later, has this problem with very bad low light performance, the mushiness in the shadows. It is not ultra wide, by the way, it is telephoto. And especially these orange weird faces. For some reason, even 17 Pro Max didn't fix weird orange face. Like, why I am so orange? By the way, if you are iPhone user and you know how to fix this garbage, please let me know. Maybe there are some apps like Gcam, Motion Cam. Yeah, paint.net. What is wrong with this guy? Like someone used a fill tool on this inside paint. But again, my biggest problems are very weird fake AI upscaling on iPhone. For some reason people tell that iPhone is very natural. The thing with the iPhone is that there are many apps like Project Indigo. Maybe. I used iPhone not for a long time. I don't know these nuances. I just took stock camera and tried my best to make it look good. Problem with Samsung persists on S25 Ultra, S26 Ultra. Again, very poor low light performance. I think that Gcam is mandatory on any Samsung. It's just completely two different devices. If you install Gcam, it will be completely different devices, just night and day difference. Stock Samsung gave me nightmares. Do you think smartphone cameras have reached their limit in terms of hardware and software? I have some notes for the stream, and I literally have this question. Did cameras and smartphone reach the peak? I will discuss it soon. Very, very nice question. Short answer is no. Of course no. Bullshit. But a long answer will be later. Oh no. Oh. Tony. My beloved Tony. Xperia 1 Mark 6. The same stuff. Ultra poor low light. Ultra poor photography in general. I did not use Can you help me decide X200 Pro versus Magic 7 Pro? Camera is main focus. It depends on what you want, photography, video. If you want to use stock camera, X200 Pro will be a lot better. If you want photography, hard question, maybe Magic 7 Pro will be better. They are very close to each other. I can show you examples that I shot with Honor Magic 6 Ultimate. And we will go to the next topic. Let me open my Patreon archive. If I remember correctly, it was Starphone's episode. Yes. Honor and X200 Pro. So for photography, it is very hard question. They are both not ideal. So here will be Honor XU, and here will be Vivo X200 Pro. They are very, very close to each other. But in some areas, I actually found Honor to be more natural. Vivo tried to draw fake eyelashes, eyebrows, very weird AI upscale lines. So there are some more drastic examples, but hard question, honestly.
Hello, chat. Maybe we can switch for my own stream. I am bored.
Shut up. Next topic. My phone that I use right now. It is Sony Xperia 5 Mark IV. The reason why I bought it, very simple. First of all, price. It is below $200. Let me rephrase. It is slightly more than $100. I bought it for myself $130 and $160 for Mrs. Alien. That's all. It is kinda sleek. Not like it is a small phone, actually. People say it is small. But I think it is L size. Something like iPhone Pro Max is XL. This is actually L. Something like Vivo X100 Ultra, I think it is also L size. And there is no M or S size smartphones on the market right now. And I mean smartphones that actually make sense. Good battery life, good cameras. And second reason is audio port. Most of you won't understand it, or just laugh at me, but after some years of using these new expensive devices, I realized that I just cannot live without audio port. I love to use wired headphones, and I don't want to have a headache worrying about battery life of Bluetooth, worrying about finding wireless bud if it falls off when I try to sleep. So very simple reason. Price? Slightly more than $100. Actually nice in the hand. And audio port. I already sold Vivo X100 Ultra, but you will laugh, but the only reason is headphone jack. If Vivo X100 Ultra had headphone jack, I will probably leave it and won't sell it. Because in my opinion, Vivo X100 Ultra is still the best camera phone in terms of photography. And video is also very nice. And this phone has, actually, Sony has not so bad video, by the way. I want to show you some examples. Hello my friends, I have purchased and know that I also. For example, this part of Sony a7S III video I shoot on Sony Xperia 5 Mark IV on a tripod. Obviously it is not stock app, I am using MC Pro 24fps, 10-bit log footage, and I manually grade it. So bought Canon R5 Mark II, very expensive, $3,200 high-end camera. What happened? Why am I suddenly? This part is also filmed on Xperia smartphone. If you look closely, there is no weird OV sharpening, no AI upscaled lines, no noise reduction. Image is just natural. That's why I love to shoot third-party app. This part is also filmed on this Xperia smartphone. On a tripod. And very handy feature that it has micro SD card also, and I can open it with just my nails without extra tools. So I film some stuff for my YouTube channel, just open SD card and toss it inside my laptop, and that's all. I can start editing. Very easy stuff. I really miss those features from modern smartphones. They have very fast transfer speeds via wire, but the problem with MacBooks, with Windows devices, that it opens MTP server, so you can't actually preview your footage. You can just double-click it and look what you shot. If you double-click it, it will load it inside your computer first. So you cannot preview your footage that easy. And with micro SD card, I just throw it inside laptop, preview my footage, choose what shots I like, and start editing. But, video is nice on third-party apps. But photo is just atrocious. Have you considered using external DAC? Yes, I used lots of dongles on Vivo on all my smartphones, but the problem with those ports, obviously I cannot charge it and listen to my music when I try to sleep at the same time, and they Type-C port bends very easily, and maybe 1 month, 2 months, sometimes 3 months at best, they start to crackle and break. So I tried lots of DACs, lots of dongles, but they all break. I'm tired of this, honestly. That's why I want to use audio port. Plus, I want direct connection to my expensive audio systems from 90s, early 2000s. I bought nice Sony audio system, high-end, and I want just to connect it via wire without any headaches. Plus, I can use microphones. Some microphones that I have, they still use 3.5 millimeters. So, video on Sony Xperia, my new phone, is nice if you use third-party app, but photography is just pain. Pure pain, pure torture. I want to show you some examples. Quality is very, very poor. You know, Vivo X100 Ultra made me a habit to shoot everything I see each and every day. I loved photography, and Vivo X100 Ultra literally replaced small mirrorless APS-C cameras for me. Every day, I shot everything. My family, when I walked, and when I switched, lots of the times, I reached my hand into my pocket. And then I remembered, oh, it is Sony Xperia. And now, Sony smartphone teaches me not to take any photos at all. So right now, smartphone photography is non-existent for me. I miss Vivo so much. Please come back. And the most sad part, it is not like the latest and greatest, it is not Xperia 1 Mark 7, but it is still the latest previous release, 1 Mark 6. You know what? Nothing changed. Literally the same stuff. Very low resolution. Poor. Details very weird. Sharpening. Problems with highlights. Very weird busy bokeh. So, no innovation whatsoever. Pure stagnation. Why on earth should I buy $1,000, $2,000 device? If these phones are literally the same, why would I need to spend $2,000 on used 1 Mark 7? Yes, there is some advancements, but they are so small, so incremental. That's why I'm very disappointed with these new releases. Very, very pixelated. Vivo X300 Pro has downgraded and now does not have any internal DAC. If you have a passive dongle, it will not work. This was working on all previous Vivo flagships and high-end. That story. I will maybe make a review of Xperia 5. I don't know for sure. And let me show you the true photography, smartphone photography, and why I consider Vivo X100 Ultra the best camera phone of 2024, 2025, and maybe even 2026. Do I even need to comment it? And it is not like Xperia 5 Mark IV is very outdated. No, it is only 3 years old. It is only 3 years old. They are not that much far behind each other in terms of releases. And the funny stuff that when Xperia 5 Mark IV was released, there were lots of videos about how good it was in photography, and in my region it was $1,400, and I was very tempted to buy it. Like, pay attention at the gradients, at the deep blacks, and very natural details. Sony looks like very pixelated, over-sharpened mess. And it is during good daylight. Like, look at this. Like, if you told me that this photo was made on mirrorless, I would believe you. And again, during good light. Look what will happen if we use low light. An ultra-wide lens. All conditions are the same. Lighting is the same. Like, you know, they are, what, 2 years between each other, and 2 light years in terms of output. And ultra-wide lens is not the strongest part of Vivo X100 Ultra. But Sony will make anything look extremely nice. The same goes to telephoto lens. Like, really, 2 light years between them. It is not even a discussion, you are massacre. I want to buy Vivo back. So bad. Oof, 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 oof. Like, what? Sony, what is this? What is going on? Crazy.
Look at the chat. There are genuine questions.
What? Which one is in your test has the best log video? No sharpening or noise reduction? Not an easy question. If you install MC Pro 24 FPS, any phone will be nice, but it depends on camera to API. For example, X100 Ultra does not have any stabilization. Xiaomi has, but not everywhere. Some modes will use 8-bit. Stabilization works, but again, not in all lenses. Oppo New 8 Ultra has stabilization, but it lacks a lot, and no 10-bit, so lock is useless if you want to use stock camera. Actually, Vivo has nice Vivo lock, but audio is kinda meh. I was waiting for Vivo X300 Ultra. Should I get X100 Ultra? I don't know, my friend. I was able to sell Vivo for $600. Right now, if you want to buy it, for example, on our used market here, you can find Vivo for $400. 400, 450, maybe 500. It depends on the seller and conditions. So X300 Ultra will be 1,000 plus for you, I don't know. If you order it directly in China, maybe it will be $1,000. But some people told me that it is almost 1,500, 1.5. You can watch all my X100 Ultra reviews and see for yourself. I pixel people like crazy and you can make a decision.
Chat! You know, is there a way not to yawn? I am falling asleep.
You're falling asleep. You know, let's have some musical pause.
You're listening to Alien Radio.
Feel the voice of your inner source. Feel the voice of your inner source. Universe's music. Feel the call. Universe's music. Feel the call.
Flying Days.
Immortal souls of endless universe. Immortal souls of endless universe. Feel the energy inside you.
Oh, what was that? Hope you're not bored, my friends. Sorry, English is not my first language. That's why sometimes there can be shenanigans. Let me finish this. Here, and boom. (15 megapixels Canon R5 Mark II and 12 megapixels Sony A7 III. Funny stuff. In low light, even 50 megapixels are not so good if noise performance is bad. It is raw file. Xperia is beyond Sony, Sony so Sony, Vivo X100 Ultra using Gcam, and both RAWs on Canon. Actually, there is a way to make it brighter. It is just one of the presets. It is more moody and dark. So that's why I told that Vivo replaced smartphones or cameras for me. Если подавить шумы, все равно деталей будет меньше. Но при хорошем освещении Canon, конечно, гораздо лучше, чем Sony 12-мегапиксельная. I was telling my Russian friend that you can suppress the noise on Canon, but details will be not so good still. You need very good light on Canon. But obviously, this test bench is a stress test. In real life, probably you won't be shooting in this dim lighting. By the way, it is 1600 ISOs. This test is not designed to show fine details. It is low light test. It is more for noise, because it is very sensitive to the focus area. It is 1.8 lens. I'm using Sigma 1.4 and close it for 1.8. You can get a lot better results if you shoot long exposure. This tries to simulate handheld. Obviously it is on tripod with a timer. It is 1.8 lens, 1/50 seconds exposure, and 1600 ISO. If you want, I will show you how it will look with proper long exposure and closed aperture. Obviously, it will blow any smartphone out of the water, but the problem is that you need to bring a tripod and you need to expose for a very long time. All the trees, grass, foliage moving in the wind will be mushy. All the people passing by will just be gone from your image. I will show, maybe. I was not prepared to show you all this stuff. I'm preparing very large in-depth video for my Patreon. Also, all my Patreon members can download a bunch of stuff to look for themselves. And some of this stuff I show on my live streams. Will show on the future. It is the first one. I'm not sure that I have it right now on my laptop. By the way, crazy stuff. I'm streaming from the laptop. It streams in 4K 60 on YouTube with all the proxies. I see almost no skipped or missed frames, no dropped frames, and it is relatively silent. This Micrevo 5070 Ti. I just love this laptop. By the way, it is these messages. Oh, I actually have a TIFF file. It is not JPEG, but obviously all details will be risked. Everything is in focus. It is 6.3 aperture, 20 seconds exposure, and 100 ISO, base ISO. You can see all this, each individual sand grains. But it is 20 seconds exposure. Obviously you cannot shoot moving subjects. Pay attention. It is 1.8 lens. It is 6.3, the same focus point. I focused on the coin. And you get bunch of stuff. Astigmatism, chromatic aberrations. And obviously, depth plane is not big enough. Let me show you the coin. On these tests, I focus on the coin. If we want really to compare the level of details, we need to look at this part. So you can see how sharp it is, or razor sharp. And 1600 ISO. It is very mushy and noisy. It is, by the way, it is the same exposure. Exposure levels is the same. But here it is 1/50 seconds with high ISO, and here it is base with long shutter speed. Да, на Vivo Gcam. Gcam. The best Gcam mode. Gcam versus non-Gcam will look like this. Let me show you. I'm not sure that it is night mode, or it is. Yes, it is basic night mode. I'm using egoist mode. After the stream, you can look at my Gcam videos. One of my latest video is actually Gcam Guide Part 2. I'm showing you how to use this app. And my first video is how to install it. I have a link in the description for the Google Drive. You can download it for free. It is egoist mode. Or you can type in Telegram. Egoist has Telegram group. You can download a bunch of stuff over there. Alright, my friends, let's move to the next topic. There were a question: did cameras reach the limit? And it is actually in my notes for this stream. There were lots of tons of videos that popped up on my YouTube feed about cameras are peaked, smartphones plateaued, we have reached the limits. And honestly, I don't think so. Let me show you some examples. Here is. By the way, modern YouTube algorithm is complete garbage. I typed camera peak in the search. And everything is completely irrelevant. I barely use YouTube search. Honestly, and if I go to my feed, what is all this? I rarely use my YouTube feed also. It shows me some very weird funky stuff that I just never click. And they keep pushing it down my throat months after months, sometimes after 6 months. There is still the same video in my feed. I just don't click it. Why are you showing it to me? But whatever. I wanted to show you this latest Canon R6 Mark III. Gerald undone. Obviously, nothing personal about Gerald. It is God tier reviewer. I enjoy his channel, I enjoy his video a lot. But cameras have peaked. It is just untrue. The saddest part that all these companies do not reveal exact specifications. What is the CPU? What is GPU? What is the technological process? Is it 3 nanometers, 4, 6, or maybe all 10, maybe even more outdated 14 millimeters nanometers technology? How many cores? What is the frequency? What RAM? What RAM do they use inside those cameras and smartphones? They just do not reveal it, and I feel that if they disclose this information, we will realize that actually cameras are very outdated and very overpriced. So I don't feel that they have peaked, that they reached the ceiling. Maybe if the ceiling is called floor, yes, I agree. They reached the rock bottom and plateaued on the rock bottom. And price. Entry level is cost like mid-range cost like high-end, and flagships cost astronomically. And the funny part that I made Sony a7S III video, and let me find it. Oh, here. This camera, I bought it for more than $3,000, 3,100. In some regions, this camera can be 5,000 easily. And it feels like a plastic toy. Really, it is unpleasant experience. Tactile. It is not pleasant tactile experience. Like I was holding a budget entry-level camera. Some may argue that it was made for the reduction of weight, but you know, buttons are also not very pleasant to touch. They are plasticky, they are very flimsy. Where is backlight? You know, old Panasonic cameras had backlight. Where is backlight? How am I supposed to operate it in the darkness? So my stance is simple. Cameras did not reach the limit. Smartphones did not reach the limit. And prices are just simply over the top. So I think that we're stuck in the past. There is no future right now. And speaking about the future, I want to show you one example. What can be in the future? Not so long ago, actually 4 months ago, time flies, but Sony released their new video. New event-based vision sensor.
The human eye is designed to see change. The human optic nerve does not process everything that can be seen, yet is
Let me start from... So, right now we have very old outdated sensors inside our smartphones and cameras, by the way. My friend, why are you spamming here?
Pay attention for the chat. There is a life form that requires annihilation.
My friend, time out for 10 minutes. Sorry, but do not spam the chat. Alright, where did we end it? So, this is probably, I don't know all the nuances, it is just a Techno demo, but probably it is the future. They call it event-based vision sensor. So our cameras shoot frame by frame, and each frame is a full picture. But our eye sees the world differently. Light comes to our retina and stays over there for a couple of seconds. And that way it is smooth process of drawing light on our vision. So Sony wants to implement something similar.
The human eye is designed to see change. The human optic nerve does not process everything that can be seen, yet is designed to perceive changes in brightness very effectively. It is based on how the optic nerve processes information, and it records only the change in brightness. A new type of machine eye that realizes rapid and large-scale information processing. That's Sony's EVS, Event-Based Vision Sensor. With an event-based vision sensor, how do we capture moving subjects? Let's take a look. With conventional frame-based sensors, all pixel information is recorded in each frame. On the other hand, an event-based vision sensor reacts to pixels with luminance change by the movement of the subject. Recognizing the change as an event, coordinates, time, and light and dark polarities are combined as its output data for the reacting pixel. As a result, compared to frame-based sensors, Sony's event-based vision sensor can achieve high speed and high temporal resolution. It enables advanced data analysis that cannot be achieved under frame-based systems. Let's look at the pixel that outputs the event with Sony's event-based vision sensor. Pixel unit that receives light and brightness change detection unit are connected via copper pads and directly stacked top to bottom. This is Sony's copper-copper connection technology. That makes it possible to increase the aperture ratio without any loss. In the entire sensor surface, reduction of circuit area contributes to the low latency. If the size is the same as a conventional frame-based sensor, both high resolution and high sensitivity can be achieved. And also capturing the change according to the rate of change in brightness. The sensor captures the subject with high dynamic range, from low to high illuminance. This is Sony's event-based vision sensor.
So basically, if I can compare it to anything, there is CBR when you edit videos, there is CBR and VBR, constant bitrate and variable bitrate. So this is maybe similar, but on the hardware level. Potentially it will increase dynamic range, so high resolution plus high sensitivity. Canon R5 Mark II and Sony A7S III. Tin 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 tin. Pen pineapple, apple pen. Canon, Sony, Canon. So right now we have very outdated old technology in our smartphones, in our mirrorless cameras. Modern cameras use stacked backside illuminated sensors, but we still do not get it in the budget market or in the smartphones. It is already outdated technology, but we still do not get it inside our smartphones. And when we will get this technology, event-based sensors, I don't know, maybe 20 years ahead, we still need backside illumination. This is next step. So we are very far behind the curve. So again, people who tell us that smartphones peaked, cameras peaked, no they don't. They literally don't. And even when they peak, there will be a way to bring all the peaked, latest and greatest into the mid-range market and then into the entry-level market. So we have at least 100 years before us. Knowing how slow they innovate, I feel like it will be 20 years minimum. And again, something more that I want to show you. Speaking about the future, why I'm not very impressed with modern technological market, and it is very hard to make videos about technology. Let me just show you. Again, you will laugh at me, probably you won't understand why I need this, but Valve has an announcement.
Hey everyone! This is Steam Deck. The future of...
They have released a cube. Here it is on the table. To replace Sony PlayStations, Xboxes, a gaming station for people.
Personalities, or your own light show. Steam Machine is a PC, so run whatever software you want.
Everything is cool and dandy, but they also showed the VR headset. And oh boy, you know, I waited for this multiple years. Long waited. I waited for Valve Deckard next gen VR headset. Oh, when they released this
generation.
stuff does not have a video port. What is going on? Basically, it is a monitor on your face. Imagine monitor without a monitor port, without a monitor cable. It only works via Wi-Fi. A giant Wi-Fi router near your brain. Why, Valve, why? No display port, no HDMI, no Type-C display port, at least. Why should I play with latency? We are virtual desktops, with compression. Oof. So, we have smartphones without audio ports, and now we have monitors without video ports. Nice. It is the reason why I did not bought Quest headset, because it does not have any video port. Valve is bringing Linux to masses. Yeah, it is very nice move. I just was disappointed with this headset, because I waited for Valve Deckard. Looks like Valve Index is still the king. By the way, I want to open a gaming channel, but it is a secret, and I want a VR headset for that, and probably Valve Index will be my choice. There is still no headset for PC gaming that can match Valve Index, still multiple years later. So I will probably buy Valve Index for the same reason why I bought outdated Sony Xperia smartphone. Never used VR. It is probably fun. I only play Fortnite and emulators. You know, my friend, probably you already tried VR, and probably you liked it, if you are on this planet once again, at the latest reincarnation. And one more news that I wanted to share, to discuss. Android becoming more like iPhone. I bought and tested the Quest 3, it was fun, but lack of PC usability is a bummer, and processor is old. You know, the problem with Quest is that it requires battery connection, tracking of the hands is not very reliable. If you move it very far, your hands can jump around very weirdly. Reincarnation is non-existent. Probably we will know after we die. And put off VR glasses. You know, I got these error messages a couple of times on my Android phone. So, it is very annoying. It is not only on DeepSeek. I tried some different apps. I tried it to install it via APK file and got this message. First time I have noticed it during my Pixel 9 Pro XL video. Somewhat shallow compared to most other Chinese phones, despite having cool tricks under its sleeve. The most outrageous was the fact that I was not able to accept or send APK files of apps. Phone just refused it. I had to rename it and pack it inside archive to trick the phone that it is not an app. Are you mad? Why going full Apple? It is freaking Android. Of course, you want to force people to download apps through Play Store and have 30% cut from money transactions. But F you. It is my device, and I'm free to do whatever I want with it. Alright, it was a red flag for me. I was annoyed, and I was worrying about the future of our freedom. Oh, Apple is one thing people are used to get effed by restrictions, but Android, it was always a sort of anarchy. And also there are some news that popped up in my feed. Android developers need to register. Yes, Android developers must register and verify their identity to keep apps installable on certified Android devices, with a phased rollout starting in late 2026 for a specific region, Brazil, Indonesia, Singapore, Thailand, and globally in 2027, requiring verified identities for distribute via any method, including sideloading, to ensure security and detect bad actors. What the F does it even mean? Oh, so there are lots of articles online, you can look it up, and I'm not very happy about this news. So, we started talking about smartphones that they are getting more restricted, features taken away. Some parts are very outdated. Price is going up and up and up. And now digital ID, face recognition AI cameras, and this shite. And it is not even conspiracy theory, it is just in our faces. So, it is what it is. Hope you're not bored, my friends. Let me look at some questions, my friends. I want to ask why people are increasingly reluctant to use professional cameras. You know, there is something very magical when you are physically holding a camera. You feel all the buttons, you press them, they are very responsive, everything under your fingers, all the controls. You want long exposure, just slide. You want quick shutter speed to freeze the motion, you just slide another way. It is low light, slide, increase exposure. Very, very simple. Plus, with good conditions, with some tripod, or with flash. For example, flash photography is very, very underrated. If you want really, really good portraits, if you want to stand out, you need to invest in flashes, in the light. The light, what will give you very, very good image. Not the camera. But smartphones does not have right now, if any at all, flash support. There are some Godox apps, as I know, but it's not like plug and play, very easy. And I mean external flash, not built-in flash. If you want to use softboxes and flashes from Canon, Godox, you name it, you want to sync them together via radio transmitter, you just cannot do this with a smartphone. Plus, cameras can shoot multiple RAW files, 30 frames, 20 frames, and they will be full resolution, full quality RAW files. Smartphone, they just cannot. You will get 1 frames per second at best if you want fast moving subjects. For example, someone on the skateboard jumping, you want to frame and capture the whole jump. On smartphone, it is very hard, almost impossible. On camera, you just press the shutter burst and bam, you got 100 photos. Good luck editing them. By the way, speaking about smartphone reviews, I found one specific smartphone, Sharp Aquos R8 Pro. It is $200 roughly. Obviously it is used market, but it has 1-inch sensor. Only one camera, but it has headphone jack. It is more advanced in terms of hardware if we compare it to old Sony smartphones. If enough people want it, I can kinda review this smartphone. Sharp makes smartphones. I'm not sure about image quality, Gcam support. I don't know much about Sharp smartphones. Will it be even interesting to watch? Or will I get 100 views? And that's all. Because you know, $200 for a smartphone is something that I wish it was new, not used one. Crazy that we consider $200 not even discussable. Everything is so expensive now that $600 entry-level phones are norm now. But it will be very interesting to see this 1-inch sensor from not very known company, Canon Stack versus modern Vivo X100 Ultra, because even though I sold it, I still has all those files on my test bench. I can review them in identical lighting conditions. Here I have some question, not from the chat, but from my YouTube feed. In the community tab, people ask why laptop reviews take so long, and why I make them in the first place. You know, when I got myself a MacBook, I really thought that it would be very nice in video editing. I was not ready for this performance. And by the way, it is only 2 minutes. This test that I made is 2 minutes video. And advanced video took 33 minutes on basic MacBook M1 Pro. It is insane. And that's why I wanted to make something that people can understand, because modern benchmarks, they just give you random numbers. 1,000, 20,000, what does it even mean in in terms of real-life applications. Here I've faced insane lag when I try to edit my old videos. And by the way, I watched hundreds videos on this topic about laptops before I bought myself M1 Max. I was not prepared that it will be that laggy, because then I rewatched those reviews and I realized that they just comparing no effects, no audio plugins, nothing. They just tossed video on the timeline and exported it without doing anything. It took multiple seconds to render simple image movement. Just crazy stuff. That's why I made something that can be measured in real numbers, in real time, in minutes, in hours, in frames per second, not in just a random score. And obviously I have tests for a whole bunch of stuff. For example, gaming test. Gaming on MacBook is pure torture. Some results here on M1 Max. Basically, NVIDIA GTX 1650 laptop. But gaming on MacBook is well-known stuff. It is not like I'm opening the continent here. So I will try my best to make the reviews next month. But it really takes lots of time to make all these tests, because I needed to create all these projects from scratch for all these programs. For audio DAWs, for video editing, for 3D rendering programs, for photo editing. Are you interested in trying Vivo X300 Ultra with a sticky lens? Oppo Find X9 Ultra with a sticky lens? Do you mean the lens that can be attached? I'm not sure right now, my friend. Maybe in the future, when X300 Ultra will go lower in price, I can buy it and sell it immediately for the same price. Maybe. But right now, I need to fuel money in my family because of some reasons. But obviously, if I had it right now on my table, obviously I would be glad to try it out, make a review, show you the results. You know, my friends, can you give me 1 minute? 1.5. I need to make me some tea. 1 minute timer. Hopefully you won't be gone by the time I came back. So I will put a timer.
1.5 minute timer event initiated.
Ooh. We are back with nice cup of tea. Ooh, herbal tea. Oh, I lost some questions in the chat. Did you know that there are no Xiaomi, Vivo and Oppo in America? is this their game so that Apple has no competitors? I don't know, my friend. This world is a very, very weird place. Not like a total clown world, but I just don't know what they're thinking in their heads. Oh, what are you gonna play on your gaming channel? Lot of stuff, but it won't be Call of Duty 24/7, that's for sure. Something funny, scary. You know, I have not touched a game, proper game. I don't know for how many years. 7, 10. Couple of times I log into the World of Warcraft or Warframe, just goof around, listen to ambience, RP walk, and log out for the next years. But if it was a job, oh. But I need to find a way how to make it as much entertaining as possible. No one wants to watch a random guy with accent to play some game silently. I will get 1, maybe 2 views at best for years. I can keep uploading and still get 1, 2, 0 views. So we need to find something else. No, what is your 2026 objectives? I don't have any objectives. I just want to make what I'm capable of the best, to my knowledge, to my abilities, and that's all. Obviously, I want to learn on some mistakes. Right now, you know, you will be shocked. What space do I use to film all my videos? Basically, I have no space at all. Just 1 square meter in our bedroom. If I will make my personal space, my own table, and I won't have to put lights, put cameras, put microphones each and every time I want to film 1-minute video, I will be 10 times, maybe 100x times more faster uploading the videos. It was, by the way, what I was talking about, flowing some cash in my family. Because prices are going up not only on smartphones, on refrigerators. Real estate is also insane. We don't have our own space right now, but I think that we are very, very lucky in life. I saw some stories of other people, how much rent they pay, what a rat race they have to deal with each and every day. And I feel them because I was in that rat race also when I was very, very young. And I decided to exit very fast. I realized that if I won't make my own business, I will never have family, I will never have a home, I will never be fulfilled in life. Also, I had some questions about AI. Will AI replace humans in the future? Oh, you know, AI, there is no AI honestly right now. There is just a buzzword, AI. But in the core, it is just a bunch of scripts. Python, to be specific. For the most part, it is just a Python, a very, very complicated Python. Shit. But you know, we have a true AI right now on this planet, but it is called human body. Real life examples of true AI, human memory, human dreams, when we teach our nervous system, our neurological system. Hi, my friend. Welcome to the stream. It will replace us. Did you hear it, Sheep?
Sometimes stuff just happens.
Do well, or I will replace you. Are you excited for the PS6 handheld? I have not yet looked into that. My last Sony PlayStation was PS3. Oh, I remember those days. Little Big Planet, Shadow of the Colossus. I gifted it to my little brother. Since then he bought PlayStation 4, 5. Maybe I need to ask him. After some time, I used just my PC. I could play any game via Steam, and I just did not understand PlayStation, Xbox in general. Yeah, I remember those days. Actually, it made lots of sense to own Sony PlayStation, and price was okay. Even student could buy it. Right now, students can buy only bread and water. But talking about AI, if you have ever used any of modern AI, DeepSeek, ChatGPT, especially last couple of months, they just give you complete bullshit all the time. You need to constantly correct them. And they will say, oh, good catch. You're right, I was wrong. And immediately make mistakes again. So annoying. And the biggest reason, one of the, not main, but one of the biggest reasons that they start to look at the information made by AI that was wrong in the first place. Now, there is a notion that AI will degrade from time. They will learn on themselves and degrade from time to time. Funny part. Remember how old music was very nice? Old films were very, very good. You could buy any VHC and it will be a banger. Old anime, old cartoons, everything was just very nice, awesome, beautiful. And modern films are aesthetic. Modern games are just woke slop. Modern music is just creaking on your ears. So if we look at the human system as AI, and humans are learning on themselves, we are getting more worse and worse results in the end. By the way, what is your stance on cloud? Because my cloud is my NAS server. I have my data, my images, my videos. I have my local LLM, AI, aka ChatGPT, on my NAS server. My phone is connected to it. I backup data locally. Hello, Mr. Alien. Hello, my friend. Welcome to the stream. What you think about Vivo X300 Ultra leaks? Is it a big jump? You know, I have not yet looked at it. Let me do this right now, by the way. By the way. Let me look at the leaks from Vivo X300 Ultra. Maybe. If you have a link, please send me. Maybe you can translate it. Just send me a link, I will try to translate the German. 2026, by the way, we can translate pages. Just stationary lens is better. Moving optical lens is not something that I think is very good because it can break from some time. Also, it was tried in the past. Phones became very bulky. Sony tried it, by the way. I will show you some examples. Sony Xperia 1 Mark 6 had a lens, optical lens that physically moved inside, but results were atrocious, really. What it was? Infinity phones? Yeah, Infinity phones. Xperia. No, please pay attention. It is optical, zoom from Xperia smartphone. And we will try it and digitally crop. You know, just digital crop looks more defined. I see more details. And this optical zoom is very, very funky. So it is better to just crop in post than to use this garbage optical lens. Another example. Maybe Sony just did it very bad, I don't know. Maybe it is possible to make physical moving lens that will actually has nice quality and make sense, but from what I used on the Sony smartphones, it was very, very bad. Lots of chromatic aberrations, distortions, chroma, astigmatism, all at the same image. And very, very poor optical performance. I think there are too many compromises for this setup to work. But again, maybe some corporation can actually make it to work. What LLM? Let me check. By the way, I'm kinda disappointed in LLMs. They are very powerful in terms of raw computation, like you send dataset, you ask to compute, they will give you actual numbers, or they can find an error inside your code in C++, Python, any programming language. But basic stuff is just completely wrong. I tried lots of LLMs. If you have a suggestion, I will look into it, like Basic Llama, Mistral. We have Ugreen NAS. It still have not yet failed me once. It has 4 cores. I'm using not terabyte, 16,000 gigs. Yeah, I know. When I initially made my setup, it was long ago. I was not very impressed. I tried to debug some code for my Python, and it was kinda nice. But then I tried to do some basic stuff, like it is my AI assistant, for example, like Gemini or Google Assistant or Siri, and it didn't work very well. And I kinda forgot about it for a long time. I want to renew all that. I want to look at the latest and greatest LLMs. For the most part, I use text encoders for some stable diffusion. Let me open this link. Vivo X300 Ultra promises next level color accuracy with 5mm multispectral lens. La la la. March this year. Hopefully it won't be above $1,000. But speaking about color accuracy, I hope that they fix their AI hell before they fix color accuracy. Because, you know, I was kinda pleased with Vivo colors, especially with GCAM mode. So I feel like color accuracy is the least that they need to worry about. Light tricks? Yes, but I also enjoy one 2.1 and Hanyuan. Obviously they are very hard on your hardware, but these modern NVIDIA GPUs can easily handle them. And by the way, I like to use, how it's called? How could I forget? FramePack. I'm using FramePack. Very nice. And by the way, speaking about AI replacing people, and I think that it will never happen, because first of all, if you ever try to use AI for everything, anything, music generation, audio, pictures generation, video generation, you will quickly realize what are the limitations. And of course it can give you a couple of nice images, but if you want consistency, if you want deterministic results, if you want something specific, those AI stuff falls apart very quickly. You actually need to research this topic. You actually need lots of stuff so it can work. You need control net, you need LoRa's. It is not just you toss it a prompt and it is ready. Maybe some modern websites like NanoBanana and so on, but they are already using control net without you. So you need paid subscriptions. And I think that AI will never replace artists. And if artists will use AI and will actually know what the hell he is doing with control net, LoRa's, it won't be even a competition. So multi-spectral lens details leaked. According to the tipster, the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 powered Vivo X300 Ultra will feature a custom multispectral camera. It is said to use Vivo's highest resolution multispectral sensor yet, around 5 megapixels, with a larger sensor size and color accuracy design, blah blah blah. You know, this all cool and dandy. On paper, everything is just awesome, but we need to test it physically. I cannot comment on it before we take actual photos in real world, in complicated scenarios, the most important part. Yeah. You know, after X100 Ultra release, I fell in love with Vivo. But after X200 Ultra, I have lots of doubts. Of course, GCAM mode can fix most of the part of the photography, but there are some other stuff like humanistic street photography. Why doesn't it has HDR? For example, something like Nubia phones, they have, if I'm not mistaken, correct me, but it has street mode also, but it does not apply anything at all inside those street modes. You will get all the noise, you will get white dead pixels, hot pixels on your sensor, but on Vivo you are losing HDR, but you are getting fake AI computations also, upscalings, mushiness, over sharpness. So I feel like they need to fix these core problems, not color accuracy. Vivo phones are color accurate enough, I think. They need to fix humanistic street photography, they need to fix raw photography, computational raw, and weird AI hell morphing stuff. What is going on? What is going on?
Chat, how are you? I have to deal with this every day.
What? Not funny. So for how long do we stream? Ooh.
No!
Oh, hello, my friend. Welcome to the audience tree. Yes, my friend. I feel like RAM will affect everything. Even toasters and refrigerators. All these modern gadgets have RAM inside. Samsung refrigerators, washing machines literally show you ads. They have operating systems, they have processors inside, and they need the RAM. To some news, some RAM providers trying to renegotiate the contracts with all these companies, Samsung, Sony, Sharp, you name it. Thank you, my friend. So eventually we will see price increase on everything that uses RAM. Yeah. Cloud subscription. You know, I can understand subscription for services, for live services, when people keep providing you something. For example, subscription on online game, but subscription on basic stuff, like BWM, subscription on heated seats inside the car, subscription on lights. Crazy. And I hope not, but maybe we'll see cheap entry-level lenses and subscription for apertures. Open the lens for f1.2, $9.99 a month. Yes, that's why I bought this laptop. It was $1,600 roughly, maybe slightly more, but it was still of a deal. It has RTX 5070 Ti, of course laptop, not a desktop, but 32 gigs of RAM, latest and greatest processor, with nice screen, not like top of the line screen, but it is more than good enough for me right now. And it is powerful enough to use on my YouTube stuff. I edit videos with it, I work with this. This live stream is done by using this laptop. And if I want to buy, for example, 5070 Ti on the desktop, it will be almost $1,200. It is just a video card GPU alone. I have to add everything: motherboard, RAM, CPU, power supply, cords, lens, monitor. Yeah, I have joined the evil forces. I have a Patreon subscription right now. By the way, 5090 is more than $300. Crazy stuff. iPhone 18 Pro leaks saying no changes in camera, so how is this staying against China Ultras? People will literally buy it. And Apple will earn billions. Nothing will change. Most of the people do not care about cameras. But one of my family members, she works in bank. She's not tech savvy at all. She is using iPhone 12 Pro. And I told her that Vivo makes nice photos. I made a photo with 12 Pro and next with Vivo. And she was blown away. She told that, whoa, I look ugly and orange. What the hell? How much Vivo cost? I told that $900 roughly, $1,000. And she was, oh, it is like modern iPhone. It does not make sense. I will just buy an iPhone then. So if Chinese phone is way better but costs the same. Most of the people will choose iPhone over Chinese phone. No problem, my friend. You can watch it when YouTube proceeds it. When we end the stream, it will be saved. I will put it inside live stream playlist. It was pleasure to meet you here. Thank you for visiting Alien stream. So let me actually play one game. Imagine if this is gaming channel. Couple of minutes. This game was released 18 years ago. Damn, time flies. Hey, Steam.
Technical difficulties are just a part of natural cycle.
You know, this game was released 18 years ago. I still remember the day when it came out. And it blew my mind. At that, you know, it was 2008. It is audio surf. So you can upload any music here and actually play that track. That time games were actually fun, and music was fun, and films was fun, but something went wrong in the media market and in the technological market. Let's upload here some random artist, Mr. Alien, explosive barrel roll. Let's play this track. Basically, it responds to any audio you put inside it and generates track procedurally. Yeah. Woo! So it was actually my favorite game at that time. It procedurally generates tracks, the road where you fly, depending on the music that you feed it. So it's similar to Guitar Hero, where you play some riffs, or Beat Saber, the newest release, the latest release of similar game is Beat Saber. But it is old school, one of the first 18 years old game. Time flies. How old are we, my friends? How long will we stay on this earth? Still remember the day when I bought it. It was the time of Orange Box release, if I remember correctly. So my friends, if you have any questions, discussions, if you have YouTube channel, you can join the stream. I will send you a link on the video Ninja. Or we can somewhat wrap it up and finish the stream. If you are not bored, if you have additional time, we can gradually end the stream right now. Let me read the chat. Maybe you already asked some questions that I missed. Do you still use the X100 Ultra? Eotorn 666. No. If you watch the beginning of the stream, I showed that I sold X100 Ultra, why I sold it, why I bought this piece of embarrassment, Sony Xperia 5 Mark IV, why I miss Vivo X100 Ultra, why I still consider it the best camera phone, even of this 2026, before the new releases. Laptop Clever, LPX2 specifically. Yeah, my tests, I created multiple tests for laptops, desktops, and I have Lightrix 2, LTX2, I have one 2.1, I have Hanyan, I have Stable Diffusion video, Rain Pack, and I make identical videos with identical prompts on each of the device, and I test Stable Diffusion this way. For example, I have my recent Micrevo video. If I remember correctly, I showed some Stable Diffusion over there. Laptops, Micrevo Yaoshi 16 Ultra. Those naming. Oh. Here I showed, if I remember correctly, it is frame pack. Damn. Yeah, it is only frame pack, but I have bunch of Stable Diffusion benchmarks for GPU performance testings. Also, I will check the LLMs that you suggested. I have not yet touched my old Llama LLMs. I need to update it. Oh, Mr. Habib, you asked, can you compare Chinese flagship phones for YouTube Talking Heads videos and see if they are good enough compared to iPhones? They are definitely good enough, but you need to control your lighting, the same as on iPhone. You need to lock your exposure. Light is more important. You know, light is more important than a camera. I suggest to invest in some light. It will infinitely boost your image quality. For example, here I have a very cheesy setup, just a small softbox. I could do better. By the way, my backlight died. I don't have time to fix it right now. Hip, why the hell didn't you tell me that my backlight died? Huh? Hip? As I thought. You could say anything. So, invest in light. Light will completely transform your image. And what about cameras? iPhone, your phone, no matter what camera you use, just lock the exposure. all manual settings. So exposure do not jump around. And you're set to go. Control white balance by yourself, control exposure by yourself. On iPhone just use Pro mode with lock. On smartphones, actually Vivo has insane lock video even in stock app. I'll watch my Beyond the Nature video. I have compared bunch of smartphones, Vivo X200 Ultra, Oppo Find X8 Ultra, Xiaomi. They will all do the job. I made some video clips, full production ones, with lighting, with locations, with costumes, and you can look for yourself. It is more than good enough for YouTube. Just control your lighting. Control via physical light, buy yourself a softbox, buy yourself a cheap light. You can even buy yourself literally 60-watt bulb with glass, not like modern LED garbage. Physical light that burns the metal spiral, bulb light, tungsten light, how it is called in English, tungsten light. You can buy yourself literally tungsten light. It will give you 100% quality of colors. CRI transmission values on the tungsten light is 100%. It is even better than my $300 light with softbox. Just put basic, how it's called. Oh my god, Alien, what the hell is going on with you? You need to use Google Translator to talk right now. Cellophane package. Oh, just wrap a white, non-transparent cellophane package on your tungsten bulb light. It will act like a softbox with 100% CRI. Lock exposure on your smartphone, lock exposure on your camera, and you can do your show without anything, literally anything. Of course, not if you are inside a dark basement, but good light, especially during daylight, not like something that I use right now. Very dark, very moody. Of course, smartphones won't be that great in such conditions. You know, I decided between 1 Mark V, or 5, yeah, no, I decided between 5 Mark V and 5 Mark IV, and I decided to go with 5 Mark IV because it is a lot cheaper. It has 3 lenses. Obviously, they are not that great, but it is dedicated telephoto lens. 5 Mark V didn't have that, and price was double. And I thought, nah, no. Why? Also this, it has very sleek profile. It is still large phone, but actually it can reach sides. Audio is, by the way, nice on this phone. It is definitely, it is not very basic, but audio is better than on Vivo X200 Ultra, that's for sure. Maybe I will record audio and show it in the full review, if I even need review for this smartphone. Initially I wanted the review, I want to call it The Last Samurai, because it is last of its kind. After 4 series, it was just a basic 16:9 screen. They lost 21:9 aspect ratio. So it is actually a last of its kind. This smartphone is last among Sony smartphones, and looks like we won't see such device ever again from Sony and potentially from other companies as well. Jojo asked, in addition to games, do you watch lots of movies or series because you love photography and videography? What beautiful movies marked you for life? I love David Lynch. I enjoy old school movies. I want to show you some meme. Lol. If I will able to find it. No, I cannot find it right now. Basically, there was a meme with a movie Demolisher, old 90s movie. And it said that it is the favorite movie of your father. And I'm like, what the hell? It's one of my favorite movies. Am I that old? Maybe flip phones will be very popular. I meant to say these straight, not flipped devices, but these straight phones. And especially among Sony, with headphone jack, with micro SD card. Actually, I wanted a flip phone, not flip, like what is called fold. I wanted to try fold phones, but I'm not so sure right now. Their size is very large, but they still do not include headphone jack, micro SD cards. Motorola is not very popular brand. To tell the truth, I want to see comeback of Motorola, Nokia. Car has phones, why not? And also, by the way, I want all this corporation to come to the mirrorless camera market. Because you know, Canon, Sony, Panasonic, Fuji, they all just release outdated garbage. They need some proper competition. I don't have problems with Sony's port. I'm not using it for audiophile purposes, just a convenience. I want to plug it into my ears and just fall asleep. Without battery drains. Some dongles, by the way, drain battery. For example, Vivo lost lots of battery life during night when I just left it with a dongle inside without listening to anything. Yeah, I also wish LG for smartphone market. I saw some reviews and people are very pleased with it, and they told that actually it does not apply too much AI upscaling, computations and other way sharpened garbage. But I have not tried it myself to comment on it that deep. So speaking about films, I really enjoy old films. Last time we watched with my wife Squid Games 2, and I was very disappointed. All this I don't like modern scripts, I don't like modern visuals. Modern movies look like YouTube videos. Lots of RGB lights, red light here, green light here, blue light here, purple light here. Why? Modern Star Trek, total flop, and they use these neon lights, RGB lights all over their faces. Why? I really enjoy old David Lynch movies. He just slopped one light was a model, and that's all, and it looked awesome. By the way, I want to try more old phones, for example Sharp R8 Pro. If you can suggest me some LG phone I can buy too, maybe it will be nice to compare it against other smartphones. I have built a new test bench. Most of the stuff is on my Patreon, but I will use it on my YouTube also constantly for free, and obviously on my live channel. Not channel, live streams. In the beginning of this stream, we looked at lots of stuff from this test bench. So, as you can see, we can compare 4 cameras very easily, and I can sell any of them at any time, and we will still can compare it against each other. So, we can compare very fine details, like pixel peep to the max. We can compare colors. We can compare skin tones. And of course we can compare highlights, overexposure. It is night. Scene, I have 3 scenes. First one is normal light. Second one is city lights, city lanterns. It is based on 6400 ISO and 12800 ISO. So, if camera can shoot under these conditions, it will be very nice. And second, extreme low light, I call it moonlight. It is not very practical, but if you want to film Aurora Borealis, you want to film night sky, stars in the deep black forest, this second test is obviously for it. I test smartphones right now at the moment only on 2 levels, studio and daylight, and first city lanterns, because smartphones are not there yet for extreme low light. You will need to use a tripod, so it makes any sense at all. And why I was talking about it, I can buy LG, I can buy Sharp, I can buy literally anything, and we can compare it against everything. On live streams, you can literally ask me better to donate, but you can ask in chat for free, and we can toss here any camera, any smartphone, and compare them against each other. I built it only not so long ago. Obviously, I was not able to capture Vivo X200 Ultra, Xiaomi, and so on, but I managed to capture Vivo before selling it, and we can compare Vivo against all future smartphones. You know, on paper, Sony is very bad in this, as you tell me, audio jack and micro SD card, but I literally open it, toss it into my laptop. I do not transfer it from SD card. I just put it inside DaVinci Resolve and edit smoothly, no problem at all. Of course, I want faster transfers, but it is what it is. Convenience is small on my radar right now, and this plug audio port, I have basic, how it is called, KZ Saga. I will show you, and it is more than good enough for me. Audio quality is nice. Actually, it is better than my Bluetooth headphones with OLAP DAC. It is better than my old AirPods 2 Pro. And by the way, Rita, I'm very glad to see you here. Hello, my friend. I need to pay attention for chat more.
Hey, reading the chat can help, especially when there are unanswered questions over there.
I know. But KZ Saga, I'm using these basic headphones right now. They are full metal. Actually, Do I even show you a stream? Yes. This is my headphones right now that I use daily, and this headphone jack is more than good enough. Over the top for me, for audio listening experience, for podcasts, for YouTube, for everything. I can sleep with them. Actually sleep on site. You know, the problem with Bluetooth, for example here, I have the option. I can literally connect any wireless headphones if I want. But I can use wired connection for anything, for microphones, for audio system. I can jump into my friend's old Toyota Corolla and connect it directly into the aux. Also, there are lots of times, maybe I am so clumsy, but sometimes wireless headphones just fall out of my ear on the street. A couple of times it fell under the car and I had to trying to reach it. A couple of times I lived on 25th floor. I was listening for music and it fell from the balcony. I had to go outside. I had to turn on music very loud and trying to listen through all the city noise where is audio. I turned on some heavy metal, but I was able to find it. It flew, by the way, from 25th floor. There is a scratch, but it survived. I completely agree with you, my friend. That's why I bought this phone for 130 bucks. If it cost 1,000 bucks, just no way. In my opinion, it should cost 300, 400 bucks at max, brand new.
Pay attention for the chat. There is a life form that requires annihilation.
What? No. No, it's not. You're literally wrong. What the hell?
Oh, sorry about that. Check this never happens again. Maybe.
Shut up.
Kill. Pain. Violence. Freak. Die. Oh, I just read some chat messages. Maybe ban this person.
Whatever you say. So my notes literally ended. We are fully free right now. Thank you, Jojo, for sticking around. If you, my friends, are not tired yet, if you have some questions, we can stick around for more. We have discussed lots of stuff today, from why I sold Vivo, why I still miss it, why I bought this piece of embarrassment, why technology is too expensive, too restrictive, what future awaits in terms of new hardware, and also more restrictions. We looked at some photo examples, video examples, read some news, had some fun. Right now, it is Sony a7S III with Canon 24-70 lens via 7 Artisans adapter. Just look. Oh. It is very responsive. I can literally change any system right now. I can buy Panasonic, I can buy Nikon, I can buy Fujifilm. I don't have any pain of switching lenses. I will just use Canon with adapters. By the way, I have bought this adapter. It is mighty, with drop-in ND filters for Panasonic Lumix cameras. I will use the same EF lenses. I don't need L-mount ones. It will be smooth, seamless. It has drop-in ND. Initially, I wanted to buy Sony a7S III, but decided, you know what? I watched Camera Conspiracy's channel. He praised Canon for low light, that it had better noise performance. And I kinda fell for it. I decided, you know what? I will buy Canon R5 Mark II for the channel. I will review it. Maybe it will be nice, compare against smartphones. But not everything was that smooth. And I decided to buy what I initially wanted to buy, Sony a7S III. Next, Panasonic Lumix came out, S1 II. I wanted to buy S1 R2 so badly. But I decided, you know, if I buy used A7S III and I buy used Lumix S5 Mark II, it will be cheaper than new Lumix S1. Crazy stuff. $1,600 for Sony camera and $1,000 will be roughly Panasonic S5 Mark II. They both cameras combined will be cheaper than Canon R5 Mark II or new Lumix releases. So I bought this filter. I will use Panasonic S5 Mark II. I will compare it on my test bench, and we can throw everything in the mix. We can compare 12 megapixels versus 24 versus 50 of Canon. We can compare it against smartphones. Speaking about real-time LUTs, I am buying Panasonic camera for the feature alone. Basically what it does, you are now shooting not in RAW, but in log, photography in log, and camera applies LUT. After you press the shutter, it already pre-applied LUT. It burns in LUT. In other words, it color grades the image for you. You just color grade the LUT, upload it into the camera, and every photo that you make from now and on already graded. You don't need Photoshop, Lightroom, Capture One. Obviously you need if you need, but for general stuff, for my personal life, or smartphone videos, I can just shoot and done. Shoot and done. I literally have thousands of photos from my vacations, from family travels, in RAW. Photos in RAW that I just do not have time to edit. It is so annoying, so time consuming. There were a time when I worked as photographer. By the way, my first education was photography. I was in the high educational system, university. My study was flawless. I have high scores. It was high mathematics, how it is called in English. Oh my overlord, I need translator again. Mathematics. Dull. high mathematics and programming. And I ran away from third grade. And I went in another university. It was also a high university, but it had photography area. So I studied photography for several years. Laboratory, negatives, how to process the film in the dark room with red lights. I thought that I would be a great photographer. And I made a couple of bucks on weddings, on some events, but it went down the hill very, very quickly, especially when smartphone arrived. iPhones with ultra-wide lenses, real estate agencies said, screw you, I don't need photographers anymore. Why would I pay you $200 when I can just film it with my iPhone? And sometime after, even weddings went down the hill. And now I can see advertisements for, the advertisements from young, very, very young boys and girls with iPhones. They are ready to work almost literally for food and couple of bucks. And they film almost the whole wedding with their iPhone. They make photos, they make videos, reels. They come to the wedding table, eat some cake, drink some tea. Click, 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 some buttons. And voila. The couple already has some reels inside their Instagram immediately, on place, on the wedding, during the ceremony. It is very hard right now to find a good job for a photographer. You need to be very unique, you need to be very, very skillful. Not only in photography, but in advertisement. You need to sell yourself. You need to sell a person. Why would he need to give you money? You need special lighting, scripts. You need to be not only a photographer, you need to be a costume maker, you need to be a script maker, you need to make a makeup on face. No, I don't do photography for a couple of decades, maybe. And what I do now, it is top secret. I want to annihilate what I'm doing right now. I want to do YouTube. Yes, it is pure skill. Of course, I love those innovations, smartphones, modern cameras too. For example, Sony a7S III. It can shoot 4K 60, and I know people won't accept it, people don't want to hear it, but I love how 4K 60 looks with natural motion blur. But it is not that jittery if you use 4K 60. And I love the films that filmed in 4K 60. I just love it. And Sony can give me full frame 4K 60 FPS. And also it gives almost full frame 120, so I can use slow motion in full frame. It is very handy feature, actually. And if I had all the cameras, obviously I could not shoot slow motion. I could not shoot speed ramps and so on. But if we are talking about pure image quality, how skin looks, how light looks, yes, cameras does not matter at all. You can buy yourself a cheap-ass camera, but actually use nice light. It is a problem with modern cinematography. Jojo, you asked what films I like. I really enjoy most of the old films. Modern films, if I see Netflix logo before film starts, I probably turn it off. We tried to watch some series from Netflix with my wife, and on the first episode, maybe second, we just cut it off immediately. So many good, potentially good series we just could not finish. Not because of camera, because of bad actors, because of atrocious scripts. Yeah, Rita, I totally agree with you. Actually, I even love OS on Sony. It is very shallow, but when you install all the missing apps, if you try to use it, it actually feels nice. I enjoy vibrations. It is hard to explain, but I turn on vibration on Sony phones, always. I like sounds. It reminds me of Sony PlayStation 3, by the way. Yeah, there is something about Sony smartphones. Don't even know how to explain. They just have the charm. Not like they look very fancy, but very simplistic. Audio is nice. Speakers, not like awesome, but I'm very pleased with them. Screen is okay, by the way. The reason why I bought Xperia 5 Mark IV, because PWM pulsations, OLED flickering, is well controlled on 4 series. For some reason, on 5, 6 series, PWM flickering is just insane. I'm very sensitive for this kind of stuff, and my eyes felt pain after some time. They were red, I could not use it for very long, especially on lower brightness levels. I like to watch some YouTube videos when I need to sleep, actually. But I watch YouTube stuff on lower brightness levels, and Xperia just burnt my eyes. And this phone, I can actually handle it. That's why I made that review. Old Samurai. Yeah, about Sony boys. It's insane that they claim that it is mind-blowing photography experience. I was not ready for that garbage. I was using Xperia Z2 for lots of years. I smashed it on the concrete floor. It cracked backside, but it kept working. I was just tired of it and wanted something new. I bought Redmi Note 8 Pro. Next, immediately sold it and bought Mi 9 Lite for my wife I bought. And used it till Vivo X100 Ultra. So basically I had only 2 phones in such huge time. Will you do Russian content? I don't think so. You know, it is pretty sad topic. Lots of bullshit online about Russia, not only outside the Russia. And not the fact that we are calling it Russia. It is not Russia. It is spelled wrong. It is Russia. And the country that we call Russia is called officially Russian Federation. But my people are Russians, not Russians. What is it? Rush. I know only Rush on English as something negative. Rush. And on Hebrew. If I'm not mistaken, on Hebrew, on Jewish language, Rush is also something negative. And by saying bullshit news, I'm not talking that everything is alright inside Russia. Obviously it is not, and it is pretty sad topic. I don't know if I want to talk about politics here, but basically Russia is dead. And it won't return. As a country, I mean. Of course, people are still alive and will be alive. Very, very good people. Oh, Jojo, no problems. I'm very glad that you are here on my stream. It is more than I ever needed. The first stream ever. It will come to the history. Maybe I missed some. In Estonia, this Xperia 1 Mark V cost 1,400 euros. Insane stuff. What about the used market? Because I bought it on the used market. It is mint condition. No scratches whatsoever. 96% battery life. To my understanding, it is just some Yakuza used it for communication. They bought it in bulk from some carriers in a deal. Maybe some companies, corporations, and now they do not need this stock and they sell it for that low price. Really, I bought it 130 bucks. Snapdragon 8 Gen 1. Obviously, it has only 128 gigs of storage, but I have 512 gigs micro SD. But, you know, it has such a bad photography experience that I literally do not shoot anything. That's why I don't have a problem with the storage. If you don't shoot anything, you don't have to store it anywhere. Duh. Chatbot spams these messages from me each 20 minutes. I see lots of messages. How long do we stream? Ooh. It is already 00:24, deep night. I have no problems, we can go further if you want. Speaking about Vivo, checking X300 Ultra. Maybe I will check it, but it depends. It depends on my family. If we sort out our stuff, and I have free budget that I can assign for all this YouTube stuff, I will definitely want to check it. Because Vivo usually ahead of everyone in terms of innovation. First HP9, first 1.3-inch ultra-wide lens. Maybe I can play? Maybe at the Thank you, my friends.
Thank you, my friends.
Oh, listening to Alien Radio. And being here on the live dream. I need to go back to the cosmos. I need to go